Hey everybody, I hope you are well. I should have gone to that one. I'm sorry. So, I want to talk about this article here today. Um, realistically, sorry for my chroma being issues, whatever. Um, we're going to read the article, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this is not going to be the case, if I'm being perfectly honest. Let's be real for a second. Um, There is no game the internet loves to debate more than Starfield. The latest being how many hours you can put into a game before deciding it's bad, resulting from a recent surge in a negative Steam reviews from the game. This controversy number 243 for Starfield in the past year or so. There seems to be no end in sight. And this is my own thoughts on the game aside, blah, blah, blah. Two things are pretty clear from the wider conversation, and we're just going to take this as face value, right? Starfield did not perform critically as well as Bethesda and Microsoft hoped. Starfield has at best a mixed reaction from the public, and it didn't win a single game nomination. It didn't win, and this is far. And people basically treating it. This is far from Bethesda's best, and encapsulates how dated their design philosophies are. So why? So one thing Starfield did have was a whole lot of players and many who stuck around for months, which is pretty good for a single-player game with no updates and no real mod support. This does remind us of a situation, no doubt, Bethesda does not want to invoke Cyberpunk 2077. So this article is then going to go on and see, they're going to make some analysis, but I want to use this article without reading too further to make my own analysis here, because I haven't really commented so far on Starfield, and that's kind of the purpose of this video. What Starfield should have done is Starfield should have had 4 systems at most, and probably 16 planets between them. That's all that it should have been, personally. Secondly, that is at most, by the way. If they want to procedurally generate some stuff, sure, absolutely. But there should be also giant swaths of these planets that are explorable, that are handcrafted by the player, because Bethesda absolutely may have the issue of lots of loading screens, hit or miss, quest design, hit or miss writing. Honestly, at the end of the day, I kind of choose to quote Zach Hazard, of Mike Burnfire fame. It feels like when you're playing the quest in the story, it feels like Fallout New Vegas in a lot of ways, which is cool. And which the writing of the story itself isn't bad. I like the writing, in the game. The problem is just the engaging with the characters, the story, the combat. When I'm doing them, they're fun, but getting to and from is a nightmare, because the loading screens I can deal with the loading screens. I can deal with jank. I can deal with bugginess. The problem is the amount of fast traveling, the amount of steps in fast traveling is cumbersome, because think about Skyrim. The amount of times you have to let's take the Wolf Skull Cave thing. You walk in, you hear a rumor in town that somebody is screaming at the Jarl to deal with something in Wolf Skull Cave. You go to the Blue Palace. Folk Firebeard asks you to take a look into it. You have to then teleport to the stables, because realistically at that point in the game you probably haven't discovered Wolf Skull Cave yet, because you went directly to Solitude, because of course you did, because it's your first run and you're just exploring. And so then you have to travel down the road, up the mountain, and then past Thalmor Embassy, a bandit fort, and now you're at Wolf Skull Cave, basically, right? I played a lot of fucking Skyrim. I know the map. And then you go through all of it, fine. And then you just teleport back to the Blue Palace. And the teleport back to the Blue Palace, to fast travel back to the Blue Palace, even if the Blue Palace itself was not a fast travelable location. You get out of the cave. You walk to um you walk to you just walk from the front gate to down the path to the Blue Palace. You one more loading screen to get into the Blue Palace proper. And then you go talk to Folk Firebeard or go teabag him until he wakes up if it's late at night. Why did I go through all of that? Because when this is not going to be a spoiler for Starfield, like I'm just going to do the open thing. The beginning thing is you get access to the ship, and then before you can finish this quest and go to Constellation at New Atlantis, you have to get into the ship. You have to go manually over to the cockpit because you aren't able to just teleport straight through to it just yet. And then you go up into space, and then you have to select a planet in system, and then you have to select a location on that planet, and then you have to hold the X button on that location to fast travel to it. What did I have to do with Skyrim? Press on a PlayStation controller, press circle, press down, click down twice with the stick, move my cursor over to the Blue Palace, click yes, and I'm right outside. I have one more possible loading screen. That's quick because it's within the cell. I'm not changing between large cells, and so I'm just there. It's usually like the quick black one that doesn't have any like circling thing you can fuck around with and text at the bottom. So yes, the amount of things you have to actually click to do it, like and by the way, you have to open the starship map, and then you have to open the main screen. Then you have to go to the map. Then you have to go to that, and then like there's 3 to 4 more steps compared to doing it in Skyrim or even Oblivion. And here's the thing: the systems suck. And while people might say, "Oh, you can get things a perk later that allows you to just go directly in a list," that you just click directly there, and you don't have to do all that extra shit. And I'm like, this is not a paid mobile game where you have the option to pay for convenience. Having the ability to make the game feel less cumbersome in a way that makes me more likely to want to actually play it is not something that you lock behind a stat block. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things about Starfield so far that I like. I like the idea of a new game plus. I like the idea that I can continue to invest in this character past when I'm done with it. The problem with Starfield is the cumbersomeness of its systems and the lack of care in design of its world. Now, Bethesda does 2 things very well: vibes and map design. Compared to what people might say about Bethesda map design being uninspired or X or Y or Z, Bethesda does a really good job of handcrafting environments and making every environment feel somewhat interesting. Even the most bland things have something to do in them or some purpose. When you have all procedural generation environments, all procedurally generated enemies, all procedurally generated locales, what's the point? I'm able to look over the amount of loading screens and the dated, game design of a Bethesda game simply because I want to exist in this world. And to be clear, every time I go to play Starfield, I immediately think, "Oh, this is cool. I love this. I want to exist in this world. This is awesome." and then I play it for about an hour, 2 hours, and then I have to deal with the fast travel. I have to deal with the being sent 3 or 4 like star systems away. I have to teleport repeatedly to get to them. As I just it is such an unfun. Not only is it unfun, it's such a demoralizing experience because I just want to talk to the NPCs. I just want to do story content. I just want to do interesting, and like you know, whenever I teleport into a system, something cool might happen. Like I'm more likely to like run across like some random events, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the amount the engaging with the fast travel system by itself is the worst, and I hate it. And the thing they kind of killed the thing I liked most from Fallout 4, which was the building and the settlement building, which is something that was people were receptive to, except for like the most curmudgeony old like people who demand things stay the same, who would have just rathered Bethesda made a top-down ARPG like CRPG like Fallout 1 and 2 of old, of Interplay fame. The problem, and to bring it, and just to bring it back to this particular article, Starfield is not going to be able to successfully do a Cyberpunk 2077. It's not, because what Cyberpunk needed was more time in the oven. It probably needed another 2 years. And in 2 years, we got Phantom Liberty, which I'm playing through right now as we speak. It is a wonderful expansion. And playing, and they fixed the pacing of the game. It's like everything that they've done with Cyberpunk 2077 is Cyberpunk 2077 was a good game, was a great game on PC when it came out, despite the bugs. Now, I'd say I would probably argue that Cyberpunk is probably going to be one of those like timeless games. Starfield's not going to get that. Modders are already like abandoning it because they're just like, it's fucking boring and I don't want to play it. What Starfield needs is to piss away the 1,000 worlds. See, because what No Man's Sky does is it doesn't have like if they wanted to do what like No Man's Sky did, No Man's Sky doesn't really care for the continuity of its world in the sense of in the way that a Bethesda game would. If you are, light years and light years and light years away from the location you're supposed to do a quest in, you can just restart. You can just like have the option to just reset the quest, and it'll just recalibrate everything to the place you're in. Starfield expects you to get like things to be tied down, things to matter in certain places, and it doesn't have. And No Man's Sky doesn't have to deal with that. Cyberpunk 2077, was not done, but it had good bones. Starfield is done, but it has bad bones, and that is the big thing. Starfield can put as many updates out, quality of life things. It does a lot of things great. I like the characters. I like the idea of. I like the gunplay. I like the idea of a new game plus system. I like the skill system within the context of it. If the skill system requires you to actually do things to get levels up, it's not just passively getting stuff up. You actually it's more RPG like in that fact. I like the shipbuilding. The shipbuilding's it's one of the best shipbuilding mechanics I've seen in the handful of like shipbuilding games I've played. I like the loot system. I think the level tier loot, like the color coding, is a really nice way to like be able to like judge like what is good and what is not. Broadly speaking, like when you're like having to shift through bodies and bodies and bodies of dead bandits you've killed. I like the cute little things that they leave behind that you find, like just the random things. I found a random fucking space station that had a casino in it. I did the thing and it was awesome. Like when I'm not having to engage with the poorly structured bones of Starfield, I'm enjoying myself. And that's kind of why Starfield will never be able to do a Cyberpunk 2077 reputation repair. It's because, again, Cyberpunk 2077 was a good game that just needed more time in the oven. It was a great game, a fantastic game, even that just needed more time. Starfield, I'm hoping that this lesson that Todd, for all of Todd Howard's misgivings and the choices that he's made in the past in regards to Bethesda Game Studios, if there's one thing I will give him credit for, is he will try some shit and that shit will fail and not be popular or well received, and then he won't do that shit again. Fallout 76 came out, he tried that shit, that was not fucking received well. And he fixed and they didn't do that shit again, and they fixed the problems with 76 in that regard. They took a look at procedural generation here, and they were like, this did not go well. And I'm hoping that with the Elder Scrolls 6, they take the approach of a curated experience, because Bethesda does curated experiences very, very, very well. It does, like, that's why I play Bethesda games. It's for that curated experience, and then it's for the sandbox and openness of the world that I can just fuck around and do whatever I want in afterwards. Anywho, that's all I have. Y'all have a good rest of your night. I will day, whatever. God, it feels like night to me. It's only 4:30, but my sleep schedule is like I haven't get enough sleep, but maybe I'll give Starfield another shot and see if I can maybe get a mod or something that allows me to just like not fucking engage with the fast travel system as much. I don't know. Have a go on, everybody. I'll catch y'all later.